Hi everyone, my name is Patty and welcome to Relatively Refined. Hi everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined Back to School Edition. Today's video is chock full of back to school tips and tricks. We have 4 tips for elevating your thrifting experience this fall. Kathleen is going to share a back to school fashion show and teach us all about thrifted back to school fashion. I will be sharing with you a back to school lunch idea using fresh vegetables from my garden. And finally, stay to the end for our Relatively Refined segment. All right, everyone, let's get to the video. Before we get started with the video, I wanted to share a couple of relatively refined housekeeping items. In Paula's last video, which I will link above, she had some great fall decorating and decor ideas. And she typed up a blog post, and in the blog post is a nice, pretty list of those. I think there was 10 or 11 fall decor ideas. And we had some people ask about a list of those or where they could get a list so they didn't have to, keep rewatching the video. Although if you want to do that, please do. And so if you go over to the website and you see the blog, there's a link, you can click on it, and there's a beautiful graphic that she made with bulleted items, those top 10 or 11 items that she had for fall decorating. So go ahead over there and take a look at that, and you can take it with you when you're out thrifting. The second item relates to our shop. If you go on our website, you also will see a link to our shop. And we had somebody ask about how to get in touch with us if they have questions about any of the items in the shop. So there is a contact us button right on the page, and you can click on that and ask us any questions about any of the items. So if there's a dimension that you're not clear on, or a color you're not sure of, or a question about shipping or anything like that, you can hit that contact us button and we will respond with an answer to the best of our ability. So that is it for housekeeping. Let's get on to the video. Okay, everyone, it is back to school time. So this former teacher is going to teach you a thing or two about some strategies for thrifting. So the first, number one, is you're going to want to plan ahead. And I don't mean make yourself crazy with lists and things like that. I always say I'm going to do that and rarely do. But I mean plan ahead in remembering that we may be entering fall, but we are going to have a next summer, and we are going to have a Christmas, and we are going to have birthdays. And if you have a wedding coming up or a graduation, it's all a good time to be thinking ahead. For example, I picked up this shirt because I have college age kid and a senior in high school, and I know regardless of the ages of kids, they have like theme days. So there's tropical day, and where I live, tropical day usually happens in the winter, and it's impossible to find anything remotely tropical. So this would be a great thing to pick up. This was a quarter, and it's actually really nice, but it's a nice big one, so my daughter can throw it over something. If you have a college kid, fraternities and sororities do different tropical themes. Just a great thing to pick up for a quarter that'll save you that last minute trip. So I keep a bin of this very thing. I know in my mind the different themes, the different events that are coming up, and that's where I keep things like this. If you have a wedding and you are on the hunt for a small gift or a souvenir or a little trinket to pass along to somebody, keep a stash of it. Christmas items, seasonal things, remember, they come every year. So just keep in mind, plan ahead. Oh yeah, we're going to be having company at Christmas, and I want to make sure I have hostess gifts. So those are the kinds of things that I'm always thinking of when I thrift. I picked up this cover up, this beach cover up, because I love my cover up, but it's long sleeve, and I was thinking it would be fun to have one that is just a little bit, has a little bit less coverage. And this is by the brand Roxy and has this really cool crocheted back. So obviously right now we're getting ready to close the pool. I'm not going to the beach anytime soon, but when I do, I can pull this out. So again, always be thinking ahead. Seasons, holidays, events like graduations and weddings, babies. If you know anybody that's going to have a baby, don't wait until the baby is born. Start thinking ahead. There's all kinds of great baby items at the thrift stores, from books to clothing to equipment and all kinds of things. So that is my tip number 1, plan ahead. Okay, tip number 2 is use thrifting as a way to take a risk, experiment, or try something you wouldn't ordinarily do. You have a very small investment in it. So let me give you some examples. This denim jacket that I'm wearing, I just barely picked up. Here's the thing. I have been wanting a denim jacket, and I don't want to invest $50 into something I may wear once or twice. So I picked up this Ralph Lauren denim jacket for $1 during a half-price clothing sale at my thrift store. And at first I thought, well, it's kind of short and it doesn't really fit me. It's a little snug, but it's cute. And if I only wear it a few times, it might be a good thing to keep in my closet. I have very little invested in it. If I end up absolutely loving it, but wanting one that's maybe a little bit softer or a little bit bigger, then at least I will have tried it and I know. Another example is I have been wanting to get a set of dishes. Our household is down to just my husband and I and our youngest child, our daughter, who is a senior in high school. So we will be empty nest next year. So looking at my dishes and I'm like, we have all these great big casserole dishes. Maybe it's time to think about downsizing. So I found this great little casserole dish. It's a ceramic lining. It is from the Cordon Bleu brand and it looks to be never used. I picked it up for $1 and I thought this would be good for me to test out. Do I like cooking these small portions? Do I want to stick with cooking big things and like portioning them out? But without investing in a whole new set of dishes, I can spend $1. If I really like this, I can use this brand and look for more dishes in that category. So you'll hear me talking a lot about swapping out. There was my silver tea set that I want really badly, but haven't been able to find and can't afford. So I purchased piece by piece this silver plated one. And I'm going to leave it here, see if I like it, see if I have the space and if it's worth the investment. So thrifting is a great way to experiment, to try new things. And if it doesn't work out, put it right into your donation box. But it's a great way to sort of test drive items that you think you want, but you're not sure you're ready to make that investment. Okay, tip number 3, be prepared. Have a few items with you when you thrift. I keep this little bag in my car and I toss things in as I come upon them. But one thing I always keep in here is a tape measure. So if you are at the thrift store and you are trying to figure out how big something is and you want to call home and make sure, you've got a tape measure with you. They don't always have them at thrift stores and it's a good thing to have. Also, I'm always looking for like globes and different things and I need to know the base measurements. I have a little booklet with some measurements written down, which is another thing to keep in the bag. It's just a little notebook with a few measurements. I keep fabric swatches. So if I'm trying to color match, like I'm trying to color match a pillow for this, so I keep this in the bag. I have also been known to keep paint swatches. They're not in here right now, but if I stop at the paint store and grab a few, I might put them in. So it just makes your trip to the thrift store a little bit easier instead of purchasing. I know it's a small investment, but you don't want to fill your house with stuff that you can't use. So if you know a little bit ahead of time, or you're able to take that measurement or see if that's the exact color that you're looking for, it is helpful to keep a little bag of some essentials that will make your trip to the thrift store easier. I would also suggest gloves and hand sanitizer too. The thrift stores that I go to tend to be pretty orderly and clean, but it doesn't hurt to have those on hand. Also, you're going to want to keep in your car maybe a box with some newspaper or packing materials. If you do buy breakable items, it's really helpful to have a tote with packing materials in it. We here in Vermont, it is a bring your own bag state. So it's really helpful to have all of that equipment with you. I have walked out of Goodwill with my hands full of glassware and I have nowhere to put it. So I have learned to keep a tote in my car with packing materials. I keep a little bag with measuring tape and swatches of material, paint chips, a few little notes of things that I'm looking for, and then you're good to go. It will make your experience a lot better. And the fourth and final tip I have for you today seems like probably an obvious one, but it's worth mentioning. Know the store hours and get to know the cycle of when inventory is replenished. So here where I live, the thrift stores, and your mileage may vary on this, but here where I live, the thrift stores some of them are only open Wednesday through Saturday. And the ones that are open all week, Monday and Tuesday tend to be really tough days. The shelves are lots of times empty, and I think it's because a lot of the inventory gets wiped out over the weekend, and because places are short-staffed, it is midweek before they can get to replenishing the stock. So I find the best days to thrift are Thursdays and Fridays. If the store is open, those are the days that I have the most success. That's when I notice the shelves are pretty well stocked and I have the best selection. That being said, we have some really small charity thrift stores that have extremely limited hours. And so I test it out and go, and then I find the days that seem to have the best inventory. So one store that I go to is open Tuesday. It's not open Tuesday. It's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Friday tends to be the best day because they are not in usually during the week. So Thursday they're putting things out, and Friday tends to be the best day. So come up with a strategy. If you're like me and you are a routine kind of person and you like sort of to do the same thing over and over, then I build a routine. So I know what stores I go to on what days, and that seems to work out best for me. So do a little bit of research, kind of get your plan of attack, come up with your strategy and learn the days. But again, your mileage may vary, but for me, the best days to thrift are Thursday and Friday toward the end of the week, but before the weekend when things get busy and wiped out. I hope you have found some of these tips helpful. Again, those are strategies that work for me. It's not going to work for everybody, but those are some things that I have incorporated into my thrifting routine that have made it a lot easier, smoother, and most importantly, more enjoyable, because there's not much I like to do more than hit a thrift store or antique store or a consignment shop. So anything I can do to make an enjoyable experience even better, I'm willing to try.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Relatively Refined. We are just a couple of weeks away from the start of school, and today's video is a back to school thrifted fashion show. So I was thinking about getting ready for school as a kid and going school shopping and laying out our outfits, and we would, certain things. This was back in the 70s and 80s, and you had to have the Levi jeans with the red tag, or the tree-torn sneakers, or the collared rugby shirt with the stripes, and buying a few favorite things for back to school that were fall, kind of the cozy sweaters, the Fair Isle sweaters, and it never failed. When we went back to school, it was about 90 degrees. We had this another little burst of summer. So you were so excited to wear your new outfits, and sometimes you did and just basically sweated your way through it. Or other times you had to wait until the weather cooled off a little bit and keep wearing some of your summer things. So fast forward 50 years later, and I now do my back to school shopping at the thrift store. And so today's video is a look at about 7 or 8 outfits that I picked up for back to school. And this time, they're not all fall outfits, because I know now that we start in August and even in September that we're going to have some hot days. And up here in Vermont, schools are not air conditioned, and it can be really, really sweltering hot. So I picked out some outfits that are on the cool side, it maybe look a little bit like summer, but are able to sort of get me through the first 4 weeks of school before it turns to that really nice, cool, crisp fall weather. So I hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to put a little disclaimer. I am by no means a fashion model, and so take the part where I actually try on the outfits with a little bit of a grain of salt. I just wanted you to see what they looked like on. And also, if you haven't had a chance to go to our website, there's a blog there, and I did post there's a blog post on thrift shopping for clothing, and I tried to use all of my rules when I did this particular back to school thrift shopping. So enjoy the fashion show, and we will talk after the show. The first outfit is a complete outfit by J. Crew. The black and white top or blouse is very lightweight, perfect for sort of that in-between season. And the sleeves are long but can be rolled up. I paired it with some J. Crew white jeans. And we do start school in August, and so I have no problem wearing white pants, even though I think that rule is no longer such a thing. So I wear them probably well past Labor Day. Here's a look at it on. Next is a lightweight silky dress from Banana Republic. It has short sleeves and an appropriate length for back to school. And it's very lightweight, airy, and cool with the beautiful blues, the patterns, a little bit different on the top than it is down at the bottom. But overall, it's a really nice, lightweight dress. Again, perfect for that in-between late summer and fall. And here, let's take a look at the dress on. Next, we have another pair of white jeans. This was a brand I wasn't familiar with, but I got them because they looked like they had never been worn, and the legs flare at the bottom, which are different than the previous white jeans that I did show you. And the top is a beautiful purple linen from Loren. It's really a high quality shirt. This is the kind of thing you can find at a thrift shop and pay a fraction of what it would cost new. And now let's take a peek at this outfit on. This cute little dress is from St. John's Bay, which I believe is a J.C. Penney brand. And I loved the shirt dress. It was very appropriate for work and very cool and comfortable. I also love the plaid pattern. Very simple, comfortable, cool, back to school dress. And here is the dress on me. Moving on, we have a Gap outfit. So these purple Gap pants are a little bit cropped, but I love the color. And along with the white cotton sweater, which again is very cool. I think that's Old Navy actually. But it's just a crisp white sweater, cotton, so it's cool, but it has the longer sleeves in case when it gets cooler. And then the scarf is a Marimekko, beautiful pink and orange Marimekko scarf. And let's take a look at that outfit. The next two pieces are tops. This is a blue denim top from Eddie Bauer. It kind of has that washed denim look to it. I love it. It's a cotton, almost a linen feel, very comfortable. And the next is more of a long sleeve. This was a North Face, great purple and green combination color. And as you will see when I try these on, I paired them with a pair of white linen pants. That is the only thing that is not thrifted, but I just want you to see them on. So let's take a look. This next outfit is a pair of Gap pants, slightly cropped. The belt is even thrifted. I picked up the belt, the pants, and the dark blue, very lightweight shirt is from Athleta. So again, perfect for that in-between season. This is a casual look, but depending on what shoes you match it with, is very appropriate for work. And as you will see, I believe I'm wearing flip-flops. In the video where I put on this outfit, I would not be wearing flip-flops to work. I would be wearing sandals, but you can still get a sense of what it looks like on. Well, we've made it to the weekend and it's time to play, whether that be golf, tennis, or pickleball. This outfit would do well in any of those sports. It is a really cute colored skirt from Golf Teeny, matched with a crisp white shirt with a scallop edge along the collar, which just gives it a little bit of a feminine look to it. Perfect for playing on the weekend. And now let's take a look. Well, I hope that was as much fun for you as it was for me to put together. I think I'm all set for the start of school, especially since we start in just a couple weeks, and you know darn well it's going to be hot when we get back into those buildings. Everything you saw, nothing was over $6. So I encourage you to go out there and do a little shopping, back to school shopping at your local thrift store or Goodwill. You might be surprised at what you find.
This is the time of year when all of the hard work really pays off. And every day I am harvesting more and more tomatoes and herbs and flowers and just so many beautiful things from my garden. I absolutely love it. My tomatoes have really benefited, I guess, from all the rain we've been having, because they just look incredible. They're Brandywine tomatoes, and I just could not be happier with them. So I'm gathering my tomatoes and a few cucumbers and some basil, and I'm gonna head in and make one of my favorite August treats, and that is tomato salad. So come on in and let's get it going. I've got my tomatoes, some cucumbers, all cleaned and washed and ready to go. This is one of my most favorite and simple summer salads. It is a tomato salad, and it is just a perfect lunch. So I start with the dressing. I do a 1-to-2 vinegar to oil ratio. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar to 4 tablespoons olive oil, and I add salt and pepper to that, a pinch of each, and you'll adjust it later to taste. And then I dice up these fabulous Brandywine tomatoes. I would say about 4 to 6 is what I make for a lunch serving for the 3 of us. But you can do you. These are smaller tomatoes, so I will probably dice up 6 of them. I like to cut them into cubes, little bite-sized cubes. That seems to work the best. And then you can add any other vegetables you like. I have so many cucumbers from the garden, so I'm going to add a cucumber. Just peel. You can take the seeds out if you like. I did not. And just cut it into similarly sized chunks as the tomato. And then no salad of mine is complete without red onion. I absolutely love red onion. So I'm just using about 1/4 of a large red onion. You can omit this, or you can add more or less. I like the crunch that it adds. And then I will add basil. I just grabbed a handful of fresh basil. I like to pick the leaves and roll them up and cut them into ribbons. And again, you can tweak this with any herbs you like. This is just what I am using because I like it to be sort of like a caprese salad. And I also add fresh mozzarella. This is also optional, but to me it gives it that caprese salad taste. And I had a little bit of a fresh mozzarella ball left, so this worked out perfectly. And it adds a nice bit of, I guess, a little bit of protein, and who doesn't love cheese? So then I'm just going to pour the dressing over the top of it, give it a toss, season with more salt and pepper or olive oil or whatever to make it the right taste for you. And then let it sit. This is a salad that definitely does better when it's aged a little bit. And it can be served on its own, or it makes a fantastic topping for a sourdough bread or a baguette. It is so delicious. I will have the recipe in the description box, and you can be on the lookout for a blog post where I will post this summer salad, tomato salad recipe. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Now don't forget to stick around for our Relatively Refines segment where we share our viewers' thrifted treasures. These next viewer finds come from Chris from the great state of Texas. Chris, you seem to be following tip number 1 and are planning ahead. Chris purchased these incredible blanket throws from the Goodwill for $3.99 a piece. The red plaid one appears to be wool, and the other two are made in the US and labeled 100% cotton. They are incredible finds. Blankets are among my favorite things, and again, by planning ahead, Chris will have these blankets ready to go when the weather changes from the 107-degree Texas heat. Chris also pointed out some clever uses for crock pot liners. The smaller ones are perfect for putting plants inside of, and the larger ones make great dog water dishes. I absolutely love that idea. Thank you, Chris, for sharing your thrifted treasures and fabulous ideas. If any of you viewers would like to share one of your thrifted treasures and have it featured on our Relatively Refines segment, go ahead and submit a picture and a brief description to the email address on the screen, and we would be happy to share it in an upcoming video. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.